Right, hello and welcome to this the first tutorial, which is going to be our alloy wheel project. Now with this tutorial there is a PowerPoint, and in this PowerPoint is all the information that you're going to need. This is going to be a freeform project. It's up to you to actually design the wheel, but obviously, as with anything in engineering, there are certain specifications that you've got to follow. And within this PowerPoint, you can see some of the specifications that I've sought in order for us to be able to design our wheel to fit its purpose. And that is what is key here. It's got to be fit for purpose. The wheel we're going to design is going to be a 19-inch wheel. It's going to be able to fit a 245mm wide tyre, and it's going to go on an Audi A8. Now, specifications for this are readily available. See, I've done some research here on the rim contours or bead profiles. Now, this is where the tyre fits to, and it's from this and the information for the wheel hub on an Audi, which is what this drawing here is, that we're going to build up this wheel. It's going to be done slightly different way to what you've come across before, and we're going to use tooling within Autodesk Inventor to actually create this wheel and create the middle of the wheel. All will become apparent as we start to build it. Now, the middle of the wheel, this is the bit that is controlled by the Audi, and the rim shape here, this is what is going to be controlled by the tyre. Now, all wheels have this drop in there, and that's to enable the tyre to be fitted on. And there's the rim profile that we've just been talking about. Okay, very simply, first things first, let me get myself sorted, and let's start a new picture. Going to start same as we always do. We're actually going to click new, ensure we're in metric, so pick up the standard metric template and hit create. Now, first things first, it's sensible when doing anything which has symmetry on it. We're going to start by drawing a centre line, and this is going to be the middle of our wheel. So let's start with a 2D sketch, and we'll start on the XY plane. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our centre line. So select line and select centre. Now up here you've got centre line and you've got construction, and we're going to be using both of those within this video. So first of all, centre line. Again, previous videos we've been using this snap. We're going to hover over 0, 0 on our crosshairs there, snap our line on, drag across. We're going to constrain it horizontally, which is automatically done, and we're going to put in the dimension 245, which is going to match our tyre profile. So, okay, let's just zoom out. We're going to use our scroll wheel to zoom out. Right click and hit OK to finish our line off. Now, I'm running two screens, same as you are here, and on my second screen I've got, at the moment I've got the drawing for my rim profile, which I've previously done and screenshot for you. Okay, so that's the information I'm going to be using, and I'm going to draw that profile on now. So, unhighlight centre line, let's click line, and I'm going to show you a couple of things. Now, remember our constraints. We're going to be using constraints in this. So we're going to start on the left hand side and draw our line across. Now, first of all, we're going to have a line. I'm going to show you a neat trick. We're still in line, but if you hold your left cursor down as you draw, it will actually create an arc. And if you look here, we've got a tangential constraint. Okay, undo, went the wrong way. Line, Okay, again, clicking and holding, short line. Now I'm going to deliberately do this one a bit wonky because I want to show you another constraint that we can use. I'm going to come across, click and hold, drag our arc up, and drag our arc. Just undo that one, reselect line, dragging the wrong way. Okay, and finish our last line off and hit OK. Okay, and so that clicking and holding, dragging around to actually create an arc, useful feature and is all available within the line command. We don't have to hit arc. Now, first things first, let's start to put some constraints on this and then we're going to start adding some dimensions to it. First of all, vertical constraints. Let's click vertical. Vertical, obviously, that's our plane up and down. So let's constrain end of our profile to middle of our centre line, right hand side, and the same on our left hand side. And you'll see we'll stretch it out. Okay. There's another constraint I want to show you, and this is why I didn't draw these two lines here on the same path. Just right click, hit OK, and that will finish off the vertical constraint. We've got a constraint here. It says collinear. Now, collinear, that's two lines that share the same plane. Alright, so they're going to be right in line with each other when we do this. First one, second one. And you can see these two lines now are sharing the same plane, dragged across perfectly. And let's continue. Let's add some dimensions now. We've got our first two constraints in. Dimension, drag this one up. Actually, it's escaped that one. I'll try and dimension it as I've done the other picture. Okay. Now, we can pick up the middle or the end of this arc here. Let's drag that one up, drag him up. 10 mil. Again, using constraints, let's choose equal. We've got a short line here. Let's make that line equal to that line. Means I don't have to put a length. Okay? Easy. Dimension. Let's carry on. 7.5. 4.5. All this information is coming from the information in the PowerPoint. Alright? Just be careful here. You can see, alright, I haven't quite got, can you see that there? Arcs coming all the way around. What I need to do is just add a dimension to this one here, 2.5, and that will just correct that, bring him round. So 10 mil minus 7.5, 2.5. It's fitting in there nicely. Okay, got a tangential constraint. Let's keep on dimensioning. Line to line. It's 12 mil drop. Angle dimensions. Select one line, select another. You can see just by my cursor, it's actually prompting what it's going to ask you to enter. 30. Let's keep going. 30. Drag this one down to 50. Let's just zoom out, check what's going on the other side, and we can continue to dimension. Let's pick up that line. Let's just zoom in, get the line. 2.5. Okay, except we actually made that line equal to the line the other side, which is why it's given us a reference dimension in brackets. Okay, so we can't actually adjust that one because we had equal constraint on this side and that side. It's matched it up already. 7.5. 4.5. Okay, just check the end point there. Now I could dimension that one. We actually haven't got our 10mm dimension the other side of at the moment. We should be able to use that equal constraint. It's not going to allow me, so let's use the dimension, pick up the endpoint there, endpoint there, and just adjust that one to 10 to fix that one. We will need a quarter circle, and one last dimension, which should be that one there, which needs to be 15mm. Okay. You can see everything's still green. It should at the moment. There's enough information there. We should be able to constrain the entire thing, but it hasn't actually constrained it now. Now, interestingly, in engineering, usually you run with metric or imperial units. Wheels and tyres are one of those strange things that have mixed dimensions in. Diameters are always in inches, hence it's a 19-inch wheel. The width and the profile of the tyre is always in metric. Okay, so we've got to actually add a 19-inch dimension to it now. Now, there is a conversion. There's 25.4mm in an inch, and you've only got to divide that by 2 to get obviously a distance from the middle out to here, because 19 is diameter and we're working radially at the minute. Now, because we've got a centre line, we can actually dimension to the centre line. So I'm going to pick up my end point, pick up my centre line, and you'll see it's actually given me a diameter. Now, handily, in Autodesk Inventor, you haven't got to do the sum if you want to do inches. I'm literally going to type 19 IN for inches. Let's just confirm that, and you'll see it's done the sum for me. And you can see all my dimensions now have changed purple, so he's fully constrained. Let's finish that sketch. Now, we're going to use an extrude we haven't used on a previous project, if you've been following my sequence of videos, and we're going to use Revolve. So let's just select Revolve. Profile's lit. Select our profile. It's then automatically jump to axis. Select our axis. We need full. I'm going to click OK. Just notice, because we've only got a line, it's not a full closed shape. It will not allow us to cut, make a solid. Okay, all it will allow us to do is to create a framework, and that's exactly what we want to do. So we're going to click OK. Now, on your browser, just be aware I'm using Autodesk Inventor 2015. Some of the commands are in slightly different places, but you should have a thicken or offset command, and we're going to use thicken. Now, the wheel rim needs to be 4mm thick, and we're going to thicken this, all of this profile, to 4mm. Just select quilt. Once we select quilt, it allows us to select the entire shape. We're going to change this to 4mm. Now just look at what happened there. The profile jumped outside. Now we've actually drawn the inside of the rim, so we need to make that thicken. We need to thicken it inwards. Here we can change the distance or change the direction of our extrude. So let's just change it the other way, and you want to see it go smaller. Okay, new solid is lit. Make sure that is lit. And click OK. Right, and there you can see we've created our wheel rim. Alright, now let's just fill it. We're going to clean him up and have the box open. We can select feature. We can select our entire wheel rim. Let's just change our fillet to 4mm. Tick to confirm. Okay, if we just go back to that, I'm just going to click it, select edit. I just want to show you it's selected 4 edges. Hover your cursor over it, you can see which edges it is actually filleted. Right, so it's smoothed off the inside of our profile for us. Let's just tick to confirm we wanted to do that. Right, there is your wheel rim, quickly and easily constructed. So that was using revolve and the thicken command. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the middle of our wheel. Now this is actually what we're going to take away. Now what we're going to draw now is basically a whole set of construction lines, and we have a tool up here called combine, and if we click combine it allows us to, as you can see, if I hover over it, it gives a prompt: perform a cut, a join or an intersect operation on 2 or more solid bodies. Now that solid bodies is key. This is why you need to make sure solid is clicked. Alright, so start a new sketch. First things first, all wheels have an offset, so we need to create a plane offset 35mm from the middle of the wheel. Select your drop down on plane. It's 35mm from the middle, so first of all I'm going to create a mid plane. Select mid plane. Select our first face. Just revolve our wheel round and select our second face. If I just zoom out, you can see I've now got a plane right down the middle of my wheel. Select plane again, click this plane and drag it. Let's enter 45, and that will offset that middle plane now. We create ourselves a new plane. So that's 45mm towards the front of the wheel. This is the front, closest to our drop down here, the well in our wheel. Alright, start sketch. Select this offset plane that we've created. Now, just going to change my PowerPoint slide, just so I know the dimensions of my tooling that I'm going to create. First of all, circle, 160mm diameter. Another circle in the middle, 72.5mm diameter. Just change that to construction line. I'm going to create another circle, and this one's going to be 115, and this is the pitch circle diameter of my holes. And now I'm going to use, where are you? Polygon command. I'm going to change that to 5 because an Audi A8 has 5 studs. First thing you need when you do a polygon is you select the centre. Hovering over, I'm snapping. And now I'm going to snap vertically up to my previous circle. And hit done. Select circle again. And my stud diameter is going to be 14mm. So what I've got now, let's just click OK. Got my first bit of, that's going to be the back of my hub. That's going to be the extrusion through the middle of the wheel. And these construction lines here I've basically done to show one of my holes, which I'm going to use. Let's finish that sketch. And that's going to be the stud holes. Now let's start to extrude this. Hold your shift key down and you'll be able to select more than one solid. Just drag that backwards. And let's extrude that 300mm and tick. Okay, now my sketch has disappeared. Just hit your plus key over here in your browser, click sketch, right click and share the sketch. Extrude. Let's extrude that middle face. And again, 300mm, absolutely fine. We don't really need dimensions on these. Okay, they just need to be big enough for us to be able to perform our next operation. And let's click OK. Now need to create a stud profile, and I'm going to do this very slightly differently. Select 2D sketch. Let's just open up our origin. Let's select a plane that bisects the middle and bisects our hole. So that's our XY plane. Let's select that. Now I can't see where I need to draw, so I'm going to right click, drop down, and I've got a bar that says Slice Graphics. And you can see I've cut my wheel in half. I now want to select Project Geometry. So I'm going to project my hole and my centre line. So just come round, select front. And now let's select our line tool. And you can see I can snap to the middle of the hole and the edge of the hole. Should be another one there. That's it. And I'm now going to drag out some lines to create my holes. This doesn't matter how long it is. Now, I've got polar tracking here. I don't know if anyone can see it. It's snapping to 7mm, and if you look to your right, to the right of where my cursor is, there's a dotted line tracking back. And that is basically snapping, so I've now got two lines parallel, 7mm apart. Okay, let's just finish that. And I'm now going to revolve that shape around its own axis. So let's select revolve, select our profile, select our axes. We're going to revolve it around this edge. It's going to be full, make sure solid's clicked, and hit OK. Right, I'm just going to go back, I'm just going to check this extrude. So it's click it, click edit extrude, yeah, make sure solid was clicked, and hit OK. And let's do exactly the same with this extrusion. Edit extrude, make sure solid's clicked, hit OK. Okay, if you look in your browser now, you can see you've got a surface body and 4 solid bodies. Right, this is what you want to be able to see. Let's just drag him down. If I run my cursor over it, there's my first solid, there's my second solid, there's my third solid, and there's my fourth solid. Okay, need to be solids in order for this to work. And this is going to work with our combine tool. Now, circular pattern, feature, this extrude, rotation axis. I've got my origin open in the browser. I can drop down and I can pick an axis. Well, I've drawn it symmetrically around the x-axis. So let's select our x-axis. Placement, here. Let's change that to 5. Click OK. Alright. So I've now got my 5 stud holes. Now, there's one other feature we need to do. Just checking my PowerPoint. And now I want to do, so that's the back face of our wheel, which is going to mount to our car. That's the middle, which is where the stub's going to come through. And these are our bolt holes. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the recess, which is basically where the cap's going to go, the wheel cap's going to go. If we just look at our wheel, I'll just drag my PowerPoint across. Okay, this one hasn't got it. If you look at this wheel here, you can see our recess in the front, recess in the front. Alright. Didn't want to minimise that. So let's now create that recess. obviously you must know by now, start 2D sketch, you hit a plane, you can draw on any of these faces. Now what I need to do is I need to draw on a plane which is 35mm off of this face. So I need to create a new plane again. Start 2D sketch, select plane, I'm going to hit this face, select plane again, and I'm going to click that and drag it off. And I'm going to enter 35 into there. Select 2D sketch, select my new plane, and let's draw a circle. And this recess is, just checking my PowerPoint again, 145mm. Right, because I've swapped PowerPoint, I've actually now lost the ability to put a dimension in, so I'm just going to click out here, go dimension, let's put a diameter in, 145, and click my tick. Let's finish that sketch. You can see now, you can see my sketch is actually away from this face. Extrude, select the shape, let's just make sure that make solid box is actually lit this time. Alright, doesn't need to be that deep, you can obviously see from the wheels that I've previously drawn, but let's just do it neatly. And I'm going to extrude it to this end face. Alright, so they're all nice in line just to make it neat, and I'm going to hit OK. That is going to be the end of this video. I'm going to go into doing the spokes and the rest of the profile in the next video, and you'll see then why I've drawn it like this, and it will make perfect sense. Okay, really quick, easy way. This is the fixed part of our wheel. This has all been done to our specifications, and this has been done to industry standards. And now onto this, we can basically freehand draw what we actually want our wheel and our spoke design to actually look like. Okay, so thanks for listening. I hope you've done well and got that far, and we'll continue in the next video. Thank you.